That was one hell of a drive, guys. It is freezing cold on Gamtoos this morning. I've just come up to the bus. It's been a bit quiet down by the mouth. I went out fishing last night, did a bit of drop shotting, but no cobbies. I did a bit of troll as well, but nothing. So I got up, not early this morning, I got up, the alarm went off this morning, but I was far too cold in bed. It is just after 8 o'clock now, but it is freezing on the river. I almost don't want to pick up a rod, I'm so cold, but I'm going to have one drift through the bus. Water isn't emptying out that quick at the moment, but I'm going to have one drift through the bus over here. There's the wooden bus, and along this little piece here is a little 5-meter channel that wraps around to a rock ledge on that side, and then from there's a little 3-meter channel that runs all the way down to Wacky Woods. So I'm hopefully going to pick up the outgoing tide. See, I'm starting to turn now. The tide isn't that strong, it's a neap tide, so it's going to probably take me about 45 minutes to an hour to drift through this little piece. And if this doesn't produce any fish, I might go and have a look upriver, but it's been pretty quiet upriver as well. I was up here a week ago and nothing really happened. I had a couple of small Garrick flash on me, but the water is incredibly cold, so I'm hoping some of those cob that might have come in last night or over the weekend have ventured up to the warmer water up the river here, and hopefully we'll pick up a cob. Let's see what happens. I'm going to rock a bucktail first just to see what's there. There might be a few Garrick around, so I'll rock a bucktail first, a little orange and a white. Let's have a look at that. Oh man, it is freezing. Alright, so I'm rocking it with HMP braid, 15 pound. It's in a white braid for a white reel. A little Stratic FJ, the last good Shimano's they made. And the bucktail is a little Trophy Tails, orange and white. Let's put that in and see if there's a fish around. Ooh, my arm's going to work in this cold. Let's give you a flick. And in she goes. Let's take that fine bottom. There we go, it's not too deep here. We're just going to pop that back. Oh, whoops. Alright, and there we go, first Garrick on. That took all of about 5 casts. Feels like a Garrick. Yep, little Garrick, foul hooked just under the chin. Right folks, I'm actually after a cob, but I threw a bucktail just because I thought there might be a little Garrick. Oh, I said foul hook, but it's actually squarely in the jaw. And there we go, first little fish for the morning. Hopefully there's a couple of more coming out this way. And there sits the nice orange and white bucktail squarely in the scissor. Let's get this guy out, get him back in the water and see if there's another fellow around. Whoops, sorry buddy. I've made about 4 or 5 casts into the actual 5-meter channel, but I see the sun is hitting this little bank nicely. I saw a few bait fish down up against the reeds down there. I thought, let me just put one down the channel here, slightly shallower water, but it seemed to have done the trick. There we go. Small cobby. Right, and there we go folks, what a beautiful little cobby. First thing in the morning, caught on a nice Trophy Tails orange and white. What a way to start a Monday morning. Let's get this guy back in the water. Let's see if there's another bigger one around, because I certainly would enjoy a nice big cob on the line this morning. But that's not a bad start. I think the second or the third cast got me a little Garrick, and I drifted through the S-bend here and switched back over to a bucktail. I was on the mermaid's tail for a little while, and then this little cobby came along and said, how's it? There we go. Let's get him back in the water See if there's another one waiting, but there we go. What a nice little cobby to start the day. Always great fun, no matter what the size, guys. What a beautiful little creature. And it's hard to believe that this, and away he goes, has the potential of becoming a 50-kilogram monster. It always baffles my brain that such a small little delicate fish can grow up to be such a big bruiser. But there we go, I'll let him go so he can grow up and see if he can make some other angler's day in a couple of years' time. Let's keep working this channel. Maybe there's another bigger cob around. That one smacked me right by the boat. Right, and there we go, guys. Again, right by the little boat. Right by the boat. That little cobby came along and ate my plastic. Look at that for a nice morning cobby. Look at that for a nice morning cobby. And when I pulled him up, there was a Garrick chasing behind him as well. So he ate the 6-inch mermaid's tail. I've got that on a Trophy Tails lead head. It's a little 1/4 ounce with a 6-inch tail. Nice little cobby, second one for the day. Looks like there's going to be a shoal of these little guys here, but it's all fishing, man. I enjoy catching them all the same. Let's get this guy back. Let's get that guy back and see if there's another one. I did enjoy seeing that little Garrick chase him. So hopefully there's going to be a few more of these. I switched over from the Bucktail. I had something on off, which was a bit bigger than these little guys. So I'm hoping that there might be a few bigger cob here as well. I'm working the plastic a little bit slower than what I usually do, just because so far the fish have been quite small. But I'm letting it touch bottom and then just 2 little pokes up. I had it on off just now, like I said. Whoop, there was something as well. There might be a few Garrick here. A little bit of a touch there again. I'll take those little fish all day long on a Monday. That's what's on the cards. But a nice big fat cob upriver here would have proved my theory right. There we go. I actually saw that bite. This feels like a Garrick. Oh, another little cobby. Another little cobby. So they're definitely here today. We'll just see if we can upsize them. They're ice cold, guys, but there's a nice little cobby. Again, taken on the mermaid's tail. Let's get the hook out of this guy. Let's see if there's another one. Did you notice that one was about 2-3 meters off the boat? Nice little cobby. He's going to become a monster. There you go, fella. Alright. I'll probably pick up a few more fish on the Bucktail. They are tiny little cob. I've just got a feeling though there's going to be a nice big fish here. Now cob generally, just as a rule of thumb, especially the bigger ones, might swim past a little 3/8 Bucktail. And 6 inches of plastic starts looking attractive to them. Bearing in mind fish have to conserve their energy, and they're pretty good at it. So if something is just too much effort and too small a meal, they may pass it up. That bite was classic textbook cob. I just lifted the lure. I was waiting for it to drop down. I'm watching the line. You can see it's like a plate of glass today, no wind at all. And I was watching the line and I just saw the familiar tap tap. And folks, when a cob tap taps, that's in his mouth already. And generally that first tap tap you're feeling, he's got that in his mouth. And all I did there is I saw the line react. I gave it a little poke and the cobby was on. So lure anglers, keep a good eye on your line. Sometimes, obviously, especially in the Eastern Cape, the wind is blowing just too much, so you don't get that opportunity to watch the line. But that's where a nice sensitive rod comes into play, because if you've got a nice sensitive graphite rod, especially those that are rolled in the 24 tons and upwards, you can actually feel that tap on the line if you're observant and you're holding your rod in the correct position. And the correct position, I always say, is have a finger on the rod. That'll give away those little telltale signs that a cob swallowed that bait. Just on general, just so that folks are aware, the vast majority of the time, not every time, but if you had to record it, the vast majority of time, cob hit these lures on the drop. So once you've done your 2 lifts, whatever action you prefer, as it's sinking back down to touch bottom is generally where a cob likes to smack something. He'll follow it up, almost arches his back, and as the lure drops back down again, he'll turn and hit on it. You will get them on the lift. That's the one where you poke the rod and it just goes tight. Up, there we go. You see that, folks? That was on the drop. On the drop, straight on the drop. Slightly better cob, but not a monster. Slightly better cob. As I said, not a monster. That guy, I just hoiked it. It had just started the drop. Oh, we might need a net for this one. It's fighting very much like a Garrick. Okay, right, there we go. Foul hook Garrick, folks. Foul hook Garrick. Alright, so that bump I felt was actually him butting into the line. Now what Garrick liked to do is eat something once it's turned. Let's just have a look at that Garrick. There we go, folks. Nice little Garrick. Foul hooked on the side with a 6-inch mermaid's tail. There we go, let's get him back. Right, little Garrick. I was hoping for another little cob there, but I'll take a Garrick. I'm up in the nursery, folks, so I'm not expecting too many big fish. This is a fairly decent Garrick. Let's get him up. I was hoping for another cob there. About 2 casts ago I had what I think was another small cob on and off, but I'll take those little guys any day. There's a nice little Garrick, taking on that same orange and white trophy tails bucktail. Certainly doing the business today. It's a nice bright day now. I've got a couple of layers of clothes on and I'm starting to feel the heat come through now. So I might just strip a layer or two there. Typical fashion. He's stolen some of my hair. So let's get this little guy back in the water. See if there's a bigger one. I wouldn't mind a big fat cob. Let's see what happens. There you go, fella. I've drifted into the middle of the bank here. It's 2.4 meters. As we get more onto this side, it gets shallower. But from that, from the bus, all along this edge here, all the way down to Wacky Woods, varies between sort of 4 meters and 3.5 meters. So it's quite a nice stretch. It's quite a nice stretch to fish, especially on a nice lazy tide like this. The water is cold. Every fish that I've taken out here has been chilled to the bone. What are we on now? We're on water of 13 degrees. So it's pretty cold. Anyway, I think I need to strip off some clothes. Pretty soon I'll start whistling here. What I'll do is I'll take this jacket off. I've got a couple of layers of jacket on. I'll take this layer off. And I think I'm going to give it about 3 more casts here. I'm going to go back into the bend of the river there, doing 1 more drift. They seem to be taking about 15-20 minutes. And if I've had no joy, I think I might shoot up 1 more spot. Might go up to Cob Hole. Cob Hole, and then maybe just the 3-meter banks before the Cob Hole. Let's see if I can pick up something up there. Right, that feels a little bit better. The sun is now starting to come out. Must be close to 10 o'clock now, I would imagine. Yep, 10:30. And the day is heating up. Let's see if the fish heat up. Right, and here's what I think is another Garrick. I I decided to do another turn through this bend. I just believe there's going to be a bigger cobby here, but I'm almost at the end of it now. No cobbies yet, just those small little fellas. Busy working a bucktail again. I switched over to a couple of lures. Tried a bigger bucktail with a bigger profile. That didn't bring the bites on, so I went back to the small orange and white bucktail, the one you saw me rocking earlier. A couple of casts in. Another nice little Garrick. Oh, these fish are ice cold. Ice cold. Well, there you go. Another little Garrick on the orange and white trophy tails bucktail. I'm going to get this little guy back in the water. I'm almost at the end of the run now, then I think I'm definitely going to go upriver like I said. Fish the top nursery a little bit more. Right, let's get this fella back in the water. See if there's another one knocking about. There you go, fella. Perfect. Right guys, I've just moved up to the cob hole now. The day is getting a lot warmer. And I think I've got another little cob on the line here. It's either a cob or a flathead. Let's have a look. Oh, little cobby. And I'm really playing in the nursery today. But I tell you what, I'm having fun. And this little orange and white bucktail is certainly doing the business today. And there we go, another nice little cobby. Sometimes I look at these guys and they're so perfect. They're absolutely perfect. It's unbelievable to think that these little monsters become those 50-kilogram machines down the line. But there you can see the bucktail. Let's get a nice shot of him. Hey. Alright, there you go. You can see the bucktail nicely in the mouth. Caught him just on the outskirts of the cob hole, so I might put a bigger plastic on and just see if there's a bigger cob. Let's get this guy back. He's done a double piercing. Whoops, now you want to wake up. I think that's cob number 4. Could well be cob number 5. But let's get this little guy back into the water. He was right on the edge of this little 3-meter bank before it drops into the cob hole, which runs at about 6-7 meters. Alright. You know, a blind dog finds a bone and you can go out on your first couple of outings and get fish. But to get them regularly and constantly, you've got to pick up all these little soft skills. And when I started my venture into this estuary drop shot fishing, man, I found myself chopping and changing between lures on a constant basis. And then I watched an American show. Now guys, I don't watch many of the American shows. They fish completely different to us and have different species as well. So I found myself watching more of the Australian and South African stuff these days to pick up some soft skills. But what I did pick up from this American show was to stick to one lure until you've mastered it. And mastering it simply means catching and the ability to catch every fish that's in your local estuary or local water. And you're efficient on that lure and then start venturing, you know, and that way you start off not wasting money. I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of lures. And I'm an ex-bass fisherman, so that habit came naturally to me. But what the advice was on the show was stick to one. And I encourage all guys when they're starting off, pick up the humble bucktail. Pick up the humble bucktail, guys. This little lure accounts for more catches than any other lure. That and the chisel nose plug accounts for more fish than any other lure on the market. It's easily looked over. It's less impressive. It doesn't have all those fancy fish-like holographic stickers and spray jobs done to them. But what I can tell you about a bucktail is it catches fish. So pick up a bucktail, guys, pop into Trophy Tackle then. These little estuary ones are a whopping 37 Rand 50. 37 Rand 50. You couldn't get a cheaper lure on the market. And learn the bucktail, learn how to fish it, learn the different retrieves and what turns and excites fish. And master that, and then move on to your next thing. And I would probably say the next thing to move on to is a plastic. I think after Bucktail, plastics probably produce the most fish in this game. And master the plastic, you know, and then you can move on to the next one. Oh, there we go, guys. And that feels like a nicer fish. I think it's a Garrick. Let's have a look. Could be a slightly better cob. But he hit me right here by the boat. I keep saying it, right by the boat, guys. It's a cobby. He's foul hooked. A little bit bigger than the last one. I should be able to hoik him. I won't use the net. Right, he's foul hooked, but trust me, he had a go with that lure. And there he is. Let's just have a look at ourselves. And there he is, guys. Fallen prey to the bucktail. I felt him knock. I got him underneath the chin. Not quite where I got my 50 kilo. But there it is. We were just talking about the humble bucktail. And there's the proof. Nice little cobby. They seem to be getting better. Marginally better. Alright guys, another little Garrick. I've come all the way up now. I can see the good sheds in the background there. It's very quiet up here. I've drifted probably about 500-600 meters now. I had one other little Garrick flash on the lure. But this little fella came along and ate it. What I'm rocking is a pink. Well, it was pink, it's a bit faded now. It's a Nursery shiver stick. I'm just working that slowly along the bottom. And you can see this little guy came along and just nuffed it at the end there. Okay, so we don't damage the fish's mouths. I carry with me these little forceps. This one's a bit rusted and well worn now. But basically this has a clamp on it, which enables me to grab a hold of the hook. There we go. So guys, basically once you've clamped it, let's get this guy back in the water. Right, so what this enables is once you've clamped it with a surgical clamp at the back, you can get hold of a hook and then manipulate it in either direction. What's nice about these is you don't have to hold them. So you just push the opposite way and it locks. And you can get onto the foot of a hook, squeeze it closed and the pliers are on there. And that just enables us to remove these little trebles from these small Garrick without doing too much damage to their mouths. But let's get this little shiver stick back in the water. See if there's not another little Garrick around here. The way I'm working this is I'm just letting it sink slowly to the bottom. It's not too deep here. Look on the fish finder now, it's 2.7, 2.8 meters. And that's on the bottom, just a little rise. It'll shiver itself down again. It'll shiver all the way down and do its little thing, and then just a little flick up. Waiting for little Mr. Cobb to come along and say, "Knock it, man, knock it." There we go. That's a decent fish. That's a decent fish. I think it's a Garrick, but it's a decent one. Oh, it could be a Cobb. Ah, it's a little cobby. This one we're going to need the net for. It's not very well hooked. There we go, that's how I like to do it. One cast after the other. And there you go, guys. What a wonderful Monday. Upriver on Gamtoos in the nursery. I've caught a whole herd of little fish today, but this one fell prey to the pink Nursery shiver stick. Let's get this guy back in the water and see if there's another one waiting.